We always like to keep an eye on the AI agent store and see what new tools they've got. And
Yeah.
I think we found a pretty interesting one this time called BaseRock AI.
Oh, yeah. BaseRock. This looks pretty cool.
And this is one that learners, I think, will really benefit from understanding regardless of your background because it really is about how technology can really boost efficiency and quality.
Totally. And I think everyone, especially in the world of software development, is always looking for how can we make this faster? How can we do this better?
Right.
BaseRock AI is really kind of tackling that head on with this idea of automated software testing.
So on their website, they describe it as an AI platform that automates testing to help developers write better code and get more done.
Hmm.
Sounds pretty good so far.
Yeah, no, it sounds great, but
It looks like the main thing it handles is those unit and integration tests.
yeah,
Now, for someone who's not a software engineer, can you just briefly explain what those two things are?
sure. So think of unit tests like little checkups for
Right.
every little piece of code you write. Make sure each one works by itself.
Right.
And then the integration tests are like, okay, now we've got all these little pieces working. Do they all work together?
Gotcha.
And so BaseRock is saying like, hey, we can automate a lot of that process for you,
Hmm.
which is really cool. And one of the interesting things they talk about is integrating directly into the tools that developers are already using,
Right.
like VS Code.
Oh,
It-
so you could get real-time feedback.
Exactly. Like as you're writing code, it's like, hey, this
Yep.
could be better. This isn't working.
That's awesome.
And so you catch those errors so much earlier.
Catch them before they become problems.
Exactly.
I like that. So on the website, they mention a bunch of different types of people who would find this useful. Software developers, QA engineers, DevOps engineers.
Hmm.
So who really benefits the most from this?
I mean, I think when you're looking at this kind of tool, you have to zoom out a little bit and say, okay, this is about time-saving resources, but also about building better software.
Mhm.
So for the individual developers, it's like taking a lot of these kind of tedious, repetitive testing tasks off their plate.
Right.
But then for the teams, it means that you can push out new features faster. You can be more confident in the quality of what you're building.
Yeah, you're not having to rush through QA.
Exactly. And so it really, I think, comes down to efficiency for software teams.
Okay, so they mentioned this thing about autonomy, and it says it has a high level of autonomy, 81%.
Yeah. What does that even mean, like in real terms?
Yeah, exactly. What does the AI actually do with all that autonomy?
So basically what they're saying is that it can manage a lot of its own workflow.
Okay.
So for example, if a test fails, it can actually try to go in and fix the test itself.
Wow.
And it can also work on improving the test coverage over time,
Yeah.
without you having to go in and constantly tweak things.
So it's proactively trying to make sure everything is working.
Exactly. It's like a super proactive assistant.
I like that. And it seems like they really focused on making this easy to use because they talk about one-click test generation and execution, right, from those developer tools. And even keeping the tests updated as the software changes.
It's just a huge pain point,
I bet.
So if you can make that process easier, that's a massive, time saver for a lot of dev teams.
Yeah, for sure. So looking at their website, I don't see any pricing listed publicly, and it looks like it's closed source code.
Yeah.
But it does say it's designed to work with VS Code and IntelliJ IDEA.
Right. So it seems like they're really trying to build this as a really, well-integrated tool for those specific workflows.
Yeah, makes sense. So just to kind of summarize what we've talked about so far.
Yeah.
BaseRock AI is an AI agent that automates software testing right within the environments where developers already work, like VS Code and things like that. And the goal here is to create better software faster through automation and AI-driven self-correction in the testing process.
And I think this brings up a really interesting point for learners. How might we see this kind of automation, this focus on a specific task like software testing?
Right.
How might we see that in other fields?
Yeah.
What would it look like to have an AI that could take over some of those tedious tasks in other industries and free up the human experts to do, the more creative and complex work?
Yeah. Could be a pretty big shift.
Yeah, definitely something to think about.
For sure. Well, if you're curious about BaseRock AI or you just want to explore some other AI agents out there, you can check out aiagentstore.ai.
Yeah, tons of cool tools to check out over there.
Thanks for diving deep with us.
See ya.